Yes, people, big up to every single one of you. Big up to all of you that are here already. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 30K. Unbelievably incredible. I never thought I'd be saying that this soon, but we are. 30K, the big 3-0 is next. And please make sure that you are part of it. The 12-man community is growing, and I respect every single one of you for hitting that subscribe button. It is absolutely free. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, and hit that notification bell because we've got a lot of content coming up. Tomorrow, tonight, Monday and onwards. Yes, it's the international break now, but trust me, there's going to be a lot coming from this channel. So please do not miss what we have in store in the coming days. Listen, we've got a lot to talk about today, haven't we? We've got to talk about the team news. We've got to talk about individuals. We've got to talk about how strong our squad's looking. We've got to talk about the performances of two individuals that I think deserve an unbelievable amount of respect today. We also have to talk about what we believe could be the target for Bukayo Saka, and we have to talk about Kai Havertz's record at the Emirates. There's a lot to talk about today, but do you know what? The reason I've titled this Arsenal Must Learn is because if we're going to start rotating like that, maybe it's not as easy as we think it is. I was not impressed by a few number of performances today, I can't lie. There was a couple of individuals I will look at and say, wow, fair play, but there's not many that I can say in that first half, congratulations, you were brilliant. I honestly believe there was a couple of individuals that really let us down today. Let's start with the negatives because there was a lot of positives that I like to end with. The team selection, let's go with that. Mikel Arteta, in my opinion, today might have disrespected Southampton a little bit. Now, I think he probably misjudged how bad they were going to be. And actually, when we had a strong side, we proved that they ain't really a great side. But I think there was a little bit too much change today with our play. I don't think any of them really got into the swing of it. I thought there was a few individuals that really let us down. I thought there were some performances that they would themselves be really unhappy with. The team lineup, of course, we had Raya in goal, who I actually thought flapped it a bit today. I've been a big fan of him, and I think he's been our best player by far. But I thought today, yeah, David Raya flapped a little bit. Calafiori starting at left back, some really good stuff from him. I thought he was excellent in anything that he was on the ball. I was really impressed with him. Sometimes he gets a little rash and drives forward a bit too much. I think he has to remember sometimes he's a left back, not a left winger. But look, he's a really good player and he's comfortable on the ball. I loved his interceptions and his tackles. At times he was going down, but he was going down with confidence. He was sliding in. He was coming out with the ball. He was intercepting. He was winning the ball back. I was quite happy with his performance. I thought Calafiori was one of the better players today. Gabriel and Saliba, not really too much to write home about. A couple of moments in the games where they had some silky skill. Other times, I think, if I'm honest with you, the guy they brought on at the second half had the better of him, if I'm honest. He's an absolute monster. Was he 6'7"? He was absolutely huge. I mean, he was towering over Gabriel and he's 6'3". He was towering over Saliba and he's 6'4". So what is this guy? Absolute monster. He was warming up and I was thinking, wow. But I remember him from last 2 seasons ago when they played here and they drew 3-3 with us. That's amazing. The last time we played Southampton at the Emirates, it was actually 3-3. So look, I think we need to be honest about the changes that we made today. I don't think it worked, and it was clear it didn't work in the first half. It was poor. We had all the ball, we had all the domination, but it wasn't really working. Nothing was coming off. We had one shot on target, which was a Thomas Partey shot for Aaron Ramsdale to save. Look, Partey at right back, I actually thought he was okay. A lot of people I'd spoken to after the game said they didn't like it. He didn't look comfortable. I actually disagree. I thought he was okay. I didn't think there was anything down that side that he couldn't deal with. I didn't look at anything other than some interceptions, some tackling, some passing, some link-up play with Saka. I actually thought Partey was okay today, and he's not the one that I'm looking at, for sure. Jorginho, look, I don't mind him on the ball. We know what we get with Jorginho. It's never going to be a particularly fantastic game from him. You're never going to look at Jorginho and think, wow, he's the one who's driving us forward. He does a job in the middle. He gets the ball. He slows things down. He gives good balance to a midfield when the need is for it. Sometimes there's no need for it. But also his passing abilities, there's second to none with his passing. He's fantastic with it. Then we go into midfield. Declan Rice, you are a 6. You are not an 8. I know he's driving forward at times today. I understand he did some good things on the ball. He was probably one of the better in midfield, but I just prefer him when he's in the 6. I looked at him in the second half when Mourinho came on. Declan Rice is so much better in the 6, man. He really is. And we need to keep him in that 6 now. I just don't want to see him anymore in this 8 advanced role. I don't think it works. I don't think he's been particularly great this season, Declan Rice, in that position. When he drops back, if you remember, think back to the last 6 games of last season, he was phenomenal because he was playing in the 6. I think he picked up 3 man of the matches already this time last season. In the 8, I don't think it works. I appreciate that he has to play there at the moment, and at times he will have to play there again. But I think now it's time to put him in the 6. Then you move on to the situation up top, the front 4. Kai Havertz, I don't like him in the 10. I don't like him in midfield. I don't know why we're dropping him back into midfield, but he did it again today. Saka and Martinelli, I think deserve credit, but to start with, it was Raheem Sterling and Jesus that I was really, really frustrated with. Raheem Sterling, meaty, did nothing. Tried to drive forward, failed. Tried to drive into the box, failed to deliver. Tried to cross the ball, failed, won a corner. If you think that's a good performance, then you're clutching. I don't think there was any part of that game that Sterling had tonight that I thought, wow, he looks ready, he looks sharp, he looks like he's ready to deliver, looks like he's ready to knock on the door for a first team place. I thought he was really poor, and I've not been impressed so far. He's had 2 cameo performances where I thought I'll give him benefit of the doubt, he's bedding in. A performance against Bolton where I thought he was really poor in the first half, got an assist and a goal, so everyone will think he's an amazing player all of a sudden, but he wasn't. And ever since he's been on the pitch against Leicester and now starting tonight, I've just not been impressed by him. I think he's kind of come into the decline of a footballer, if I'm honest with you. I don't look at him and think there's anything that he's going to do that's going to contribute. People think he's going to be a massive contributor to this season. I hope he is. I just don't have the faith and confidence that he's going to be, if I'm honest. I think we need to learn that we can't rely on some of these players to waltz us through the games. When we play that team and rotate, it isn't going to be easy. Now, we need to rotate. Absolutely, we do. But I'm not too sure that it was the right belief or confidence to have that we were going to waltz this game 3 or 4-0 with that team. Because that team that played against Southampton was not good enough to go and win a title. That team was not good enough to go and fight for top 4, in my opinion. When you can't break a Southampton team down like that, that's a worry, a real worry. So look, yes, there was positives in the game in the first half in terms of how much we dominated, but in front of goal we were poor. And that leads me to Gabriel Jesus. I would rather see Havertz in the 9 and Jesus in the 10. Or Jesus out wide, Trossard in the middle, Sterling in the middle, and Havertz up top. I do not want to see Havertz dropped into midfield ever again. It doesn't work, man. Honestly, it doesn't work. Why are we trying it? Why are we sticking with him there? I just felt like it was poor. And Jesus, I think this is his last season at Arsenal. I feel like we've moved on. I feel like we need better. And if he's okay being a bench warmer, fine, but he's not going to be. So it needs to be a time for us to have a conversation about where his future lies. And I think it's away from Arsenal. Maybe it's Saudi Arabia. Maybe you can go over to a club and do well. But for me, I think his time at Arsenal is going to be up after this season. Those injuries clearly have affected him because he isn't the same. He tries. He did a nice little bit of skill again. But skill doesn't win you games. I need him in front of goal, banging goals in. That's what we bought him for. I don't think he's delivering. If he's not doing that, I need him out wide creating. If he's not doing that, I need him on the bench. He was so bad again. Against Bolton, he was poor. Other than the last 15 minutes of that game where he finally started to come into it a bit and get on the ball, I thought he was really poor today. Got subbed along with Sterling, rightly so. We went 1-0 down. It was poor. So he's got to look at his performances. Sterling's got to look at his performance. And they've both got to actually think, is that performance, take a look back, is that performance good enough to knock on the door and say, I need to first team place? And the answer is absolutely no. There's no way. I thought it was a really poor performance for both of them. I didn't think either of them were actually any better than the other. Thought they were both really poor, to be fair. And I just don't feel like we've got at the moment a team that has the confidence other than those individuals. So look, we're in a position, right, where you've got Sterling and Jesus as the cover, and people would think that's better than Nelson and Eddie, and it is. But real talk, I think I'd rather be bringing Reece on at the moment than Sterling. I don't think Sterling's playing well enough at all. I don't think he looks right. I think when he's running at players, it's not really like looking the same Raheem Sterling. He's not really beating, man. I don't know. Personally, I felt like there's a potential for us to look at that and maybe just think this is a bad signing. I'm going to give him more time because it's only fair. You have to. There's only been a number of games that he's played, but it isn't looking good signs. I'm not going to say he's a Willian or someone mad like that because that would be hard, right? But I'm not a huge fan of what I'm seeing from Raheem Sterling or Jesus. Maybe it's because they haven't had enough game time. Maybe they're not ready yet. Maybe they're not right, but I ain't getting into it really. The goal we conceded, Raheem Sterling is 29 years old now. How much experience has he got in the Premier League to know that you've got to be stronger in that scenario? People said it was a foul. It's a very soft foul. The guy's just stronger than him. Puts him on his backside, and then they're away. And I just feel like everything about that goal wakes the team up. And in fact, it wakes the manager up. The manager's thinking, nah, enough's enough. I can't be giving any of these guys more chance. I've got to get the first team back on. And when we got the first team back on, we dominated like we did with the B team, or the first half team, whatever you want to call it, because it wasn't a B team. But we actually put the ball in the back of the net with the first team. Jesus and Sterling couldn't do that. It could have been out there still now. They wouldn't have had a chance. It was poor. There was nothing they created. So, look, we go 1-0 down. It shocks the whole of the Emirates. No one's really expecting it. We're losing at home to Southampton 1-0, and we're supposed to be going for a title. And then what it does is it lifts everybody because it's like, nah, don't accept this. Mikel Arteta then makes changes. Trossard comes on, Martinelli comes on, and Marino comes on. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to see the Arsenal that I'm liking. I'll tell you why I liked everything about the second half in terms of the performance going forward. Calafiori at left back complemented Mikel Marino at the left centre mid, who complemented Martinelli at the left wing, who complemented Trossard playing in the Ødegaard position, who then complemented Havertz, who went back to the number 9, who complemented Saka, who, by the way, these two at the moment are playing very well together. And I think all of our team started to look dominant again. And I suppose one of the biggest compliments I can give the team today in the second half was we actually looked really good on the left as well as the right. Normally it's very lopsided, very one-sided. I've said I want to see Calafiori and Marino in this side with Rice in the 6 and Martinelli on the left wing. And we saw it happening. It was working. It's the best our left-hand side has looked all season. In fact, probably in the last 12 months. I've been a huge fan of Martinelli over the last couple of seasons. He needed to up his performances. And Man City, he was good. And in the other games leading up to this game, I thought he was good. This game tonight, he was really good when he come on. He looked like his old self. He was getting balls threaded through to him from a left-footed midfielder in Mikel Marino. He was having link-up play quite well with Calafiori. There was an understanding happening there. Quite liking what I'm seeing here. And Declan Rice, I said at the start of this and on my fan cam today on AFTV, he's a 6, man. He is a definite 6. He's a number 6 that can play in the 8. But he's not a number 8 that can play in the 6. He is a Rodri, not a Gerrard. That's all I'm saying. And I don't mean in terms of quality because Rodri and Gerrard are better than him, but in terms of where we're being asked to play. He's got the attributes of Rodri, not the attributes of Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard. He's not one of those midfielders that runs in late in the box and scores. So I think Rice needs to start in the 6 now. When everybody is fit, it's looking like we've got a back line that we can choose between with some competition. Timber, White, Calafiori, Tomiyasu back today. Who plays in that fullback area? in midfield. Jorginho and Partey got the nod today, and Partey's been phenomenal in the six, particularly against PSG. But now Marino's back. Who plays there? Is it Rice, Marino, and then Ødegaard when he's fit? Or is it Partey, Rice, and Ødegaard when he's fit? That's a good decision to have. And then across the front three, I actually think up top we're probably the weakest now because Jesus is doing nothing and Sterling's struggling. What happens? Does Ethan come in? Does Wanyeri come in and get a slot? Or do we do something a bit different? For me, Martinelli, Trossard and Saka are fine. Havertz is fine. Other than that, Sterling and Jesus, they're the two I'm looking to upgrade upon ASAP at the moment. Things can change in football. And trust me, things can change pretty quickly, right? But right now, I can only talk about what I'm seeing in front of my eyes. And Sterling and Jesus are struggling. They have been for quite some time, it seems, this season. Maybe the confidence has knocked them, that they've lost their place. But they've got to look at what they've done in their careers and feel like they've got the confidence to get back into this side because they've won league titles with Manchester City. Sterling has played for Liverpool, City and Chelsea, three of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. And now he's gone to Arsenal, four of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. They need to be looking at their attitudes and their mentality and say, right, you think you're going to drop me? I'm going to go show you. They didn't do that today. They didn't. Listen, before we move, people, there's nearly 300 of you in here. Do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. We've only got 48 of you that have hit the like button. Please, if you like what I'm doing, please hit the like button because it does mean a hell of a lot and it grows the channel. So that's what we need from you all. Please hit the like button. Hit subscribe as well. We're getting towards 30K, so please make sure you are part of the 12th Man community by hitting the subscribe button. It's free to do, and hit the notification bell. That's all I need you to do, man. Big up to all of you that have done that already, and thank you. Now, let's go to what happened when the second half came into play. I felt like the midfield had more balance. Declan Rice as a 6 was superb, but Marino come on with that left foot and actually started to thread some passes through, and it looked more natural. In fact, we haven't really had that since Granit Xhaka because Declan Rice is a right-footed player playing in the left 8. It's the first time I've seen Marino actually in more of a game than I wanted to see him. Against PSG was a few minutes here and there where he did okay. But if I'm honest with you, I thought he was really good when he came on today. And actually he delivered in everything that he was supposed to do. Now, I'm hearing good things about Marino in training, saying how much of an animal he is, how much of a monster he is. The fact he goes in for every tackle, he's up for every ball, he's got aerial ability, physical presence, he's leaping over people, he's getting stuck in. A lot of people are talking about this guy being very, very impressive in training. And I feel like it's only a number of games before we see him in the first team. We've got an international break now, but I do want to see more of Marino and Calafiori, in fact. In fact, I want to see them both together. We brought these guys in the summer to give us strength in depth. I want to be able to see what they're about and if they can get a first game into Arsenal and be the first name on the team sheet, because I think they need to be in the squad now. I think they need to be in the starting 11. Thomas Partey, I understand and appreciate he's done well, and there's rumours that he's being offered a new contract or will be offered a new contract on a 2-year deal. And maybe that's what we need to do, right? But when I look at it, I just don't rely upon him for the whole of the season. So it's great having Partey and Jorginho as backup with Marino, Rice and Ødegaard. That's what I want to see in the midfield. Will we get to see it? Well, last season we didn't get to see Partey, Rice and Ødegaard, did we? Maybe this season we won't get to see Rice, Marino and Ødegaard because of injuries. At the moment, we certainly can't see it, right? But I think we're in a position right now where we've got an opportunity to see what this can do in midfield with Marino in the Granit Xhaka role. That's what I want to see moving forward. Gabriel Martinelli. I mentioned earlier that his form has dipped, but in the last couple of games, it's definitely improved. And I don't think it's any coincidence that Calafiori and Marino have both been introduced into this side, and all of a sudden Martinelli is starting to look a bit better. I'm starting to see Martinelli on the left-hand side, and actually our left-hand side as a whole is now not lopsided. Actually, we are playing down the left. There are midfielders like Marino that are happy to go left, not just to Ødegaard, Saka and Saliba and White. We're actually looking on the left-hand side now, thinking Calafiori can pass that up there to Martinelli. Martinelli's happy to come inside to a Trossard. Trossard's happy to go up to a Havertz. Havertz back to Martinelli on that left-hand side. How many times have we seen that on the right-hand side? Ben White and Saliba. Saliba threads it out. It goes out wide. And then it's Saka. Then it's Ødegaard. Ødegaard, Saka. Ødegaard, Saka. And they're crossing the ball in. I actually saw on the left-hand side, Gabriel and Calafiori, who clearly have a good partnership, it seems already, passing that up wide to Martinelli and allowing Kai Havertz and Trossard to actually come and a little bit kind of focus on the left-hand side. So I'm really impressed by that, man. I've got to say. And Martinelli just needs to keep playing now. Needs to keep getting better and better. We've got very, very difficult games coming up. After the international break, we've got Bournemouth away, which will be difficult. We've got Preston away. We've got Shakhtar at home. We've got Liverpool at home. And then we've got Newcastle away, Inter Milan away, Chelsea away. So we need these players. We need them fit. We need Timber and White back, which I hope they will be. And then we need Erdegaard back as quickly as possible. Get your questions in, guys. I really want to take some questions. We've got super chats, of course, in already. They'll go to the front of the queue. Get your questions in. Put a Q, capital Q, at the start of it so I know it's a question, because then I can star it easier, and we'll go through what your thoughts were on the game. Look, we needed to win convincingly today, and actually in the end we did. But I have to start talking about Saka and Kai Havertz, because those two today were brilliant. Martinelli came on and we were so much more of a threat. I thought he was so much better without Sterling and Jesus. Martinelli proves he is levels above those two. But actually, let's look at how we got ourselves back into the game. We concede, it's poor. Sterling needs to do better. Defensively, we need to not back off of Cameron Archer. Yeah, it's Cameron Archer, not Thierry Henry. We need to be realistic about that. We cannot allow ourselves to concede goals like that. And at the Emirates, I said today would be 4-1 because I knew we concede. I'm never going 3-0, 2-0 at the Emirates again. I'll do it away, but I'm never predicting Arsenal to keep a clean sheet at the Emirates. They've proven they can't. It's poor. We've kept a clean sheet against Wolves, but David Raya kept us out with world-class saves, 2 of them. We've conceded against Brighton. We've conceded against the other teams we've played this season, other than PSG. Even Bolton scored at the Emirates. We just can't seem to keep a clean sheet for some reason. I don't know why. At home, it seems impossible, even with the best defence in the league, people are saying. But those that were saying that we wanted to get the record, I was one of those. I wanted to get as close to conceding 15 goals as little as possible, right? But we've already conceded 6 in the first 6 games, I think it is. That's not going to happen, people. So look, we can still have a good defensive record, but it isn't going to break any records playing like this. But the players that do need the absolute props and praise is Havertz and Saka. When Kai Havertz is in the 9, he's one of our better players at the moment. That goal is so good. The way that he anticipates that to allow it to be run through, to allow him to touch that, and then have the confidence to strike it home. The finish is wicked. Comes off the inside of the post. Ramsdale's got no chance. It's a phenomenal strike from Kai Havertz, and it gets us back into the game. But then the seconds are always on Saka. Now, Saka actually assists that Kai Havertz goal. The ball is delightful, by the way. I know people will say that it was just a pass, but actually, if you look at the way to pass and look at how he has the telepathy of understanding how Kai Havertz will actually anticipate that ball, it's quite breathtaking how much they are already becoming very telepathic together. Saka and Havertz at the moment are actually teaming up more than I thought they ever would. And it's great to see. It really is. So that's really impressive. I just feel like there's an opportunity to big them up at the moment. I know it's Leicester and it's Southampton. And in fact, we've looked better against PSG than both Southampton and Leicester, which is mad, really. But I will say, if you look at it, I thought Havertz's goal was one of the best finishes he's had at Arsenal. I thought it was phenomenal. So impressed by it. Thought it was really exciting to see how he picked the ball up, went running back, went to the centre circle. He is superb, man. At the moment, he is superb. And that is 7-7 since Robin van Persie in 2012. And that was the season Robin van Persie got us top 4 single-handedly, scoring over 30 goals for Arsenal. He scored 1 every other game since being in the number 9 position. We've just got to say hats off. Now, I'll go back to a game. The Community Shield, Manchester City. He played as the 9, and I weren't massively impressed. I thought he was okay. Thought he played well, but I wasn't hyped by what people were saying. Oh my God, this guy's going to be our Bergkamp, Van Persie, Berbatov, Henry. I'm like, whoa, calm down. No, he ain't. He ain't that. And he still ain't that, by the way. I think all those players he's been linked with and likened to, people say he's similar to Berbatov. Berbatov was better. Van Persie was better. Bergkamp was better. So let's not do that. He's Kai Havertz. Yeah, forget about who he's like. He's just Kai Havertz. But my goodness, he deserves his praise. I thought he was our best player against PSG. He was one of our best players today, but only when he went into the 9. In the midfield, I thought he was poor as always in the first half. But in the second half, come on. He's getting better in that number 9 position. He just looks good and he looks reliable at the moment. He actually looks like he's going to either create, make something happen, flick the ball through, link up play, score a goal, go up for the header. I just like what he's doing at the moment. So he deserves praise. To get 7 games, 7 goals in 7 games at the Emirates, hats off to you, man, because that's hard to do. Robin Van Persie in 2012. We're going back, 12 years? So it's difficult to do. And Robin Van Persie was top, by the way. So you've got to look at him as improving and getting better and better. So I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from Kai Havertz. But let me talk about Bukayo Saka, people. Bukayo. First half was trying, not much coming off. Second half, didn't see much in parts. Got the assist for Havertz, and then he turns it on. And I said to my dad, not really seen much effectiveness from Saka as of yet. As I say that, what does he do? He picks up the ball on the right-hand side. He cuts inside. He cuts inside again. And he delivers an absolute peach of a cross for Martinelli. Now, Martinelli deserves a lot of credit for this as well, by the way, because he's kept himself onside, which was close, but he did keep himself onside. And he's hit it first time at the far post, and it's gone in. It was about 4 minutes that we were waiting, it felt like, to understand whether it had gone in or not. Luckily, he was onside, and it looked like he was onside by a few inches, to be fair, but I don't know why it took so long. But you look at that delivery from Bukayo Saka. It is delightful. It is inch perfect. His crossing is massively improving. He is delivering. Now, he could cross a ball. He could take a corner. He's always been able to cut inside and take a dig. But if you look at what he's been working on, it's clear that he's been working on his delivery and his weight of delivery, because he's putting it on an absolute plate at the moment for our centre forwards or our centre halves if you're Gabriel and you're going for a corner. I think he deserves a lot of props. I think he deserves a lot of praise. And again today, 2 assists, 2 1-up. And then what does he do? He goes and scores. Now, I must say, it's won back quite well, but it's poor from Southampton. And then we get Trossard through. And if I'm honest with you, Trossard's got to make the right decision. And the right decision is to thread it through to Martinelli, who's going to score because he's through 1-on-1. Trossard gets his feet wrong. It delivers perfectly and tees up Saka, who, by the way, everyone thought had fouled the guy, but he hadn't touched him. And he slots it home past Ramsdale, and he's got himself 2 assists and a goal. We're talking about another 3 GA for this guy. It's 7 games, 7 GA. This guy, 7 in 7 also. I'm so impressed by him, man. The guy is ridiculous. He's just turned 23, and we're talking about this player like he's still a kid. Like, this guy is no longer a kid. He's a top player, man. 7 matches, 7 assists, 2 goals. 9 GA and 7. Could he get close to 40 goals and assists this season, Bukayo Saka? That's a serious question for me. I think he could actually break the records. He can certainly break his own records. He got 30 odd last season, didn't he? And 30 the season before that. Phenomenal. Absolutely ridiculous. Crazy, in fact. Last season, let me add it up. What did he get last season? Last season, he got 34 goals and assists last season. Can he beat that? I think he can. It's only a matter of time before people start talking about this guy being world class. Every game he's delivering. And people that sometimes say he didn't have a good game, what did he do? He assisted, he scored. It means that he's a top quality player. Players like that, Salah, Mahrez, they have bad games, but they still score goals. They still assists. Hazard, Bale. They can have quality games, but they can also have games where I didn't really see much of him today. Still scored or assisted, though. That's what Saka is doing right now. So I don't want any more of these comparisons with players. I don't want people telling me that Darren Bowen and Kudus and Palmer and Bernardo and Doku and Grealish and Diaz are all better than him. I don't want any of this nonsense anymore, man. This kid delivers. This kid's phenomenal. Let's lay off of him now, man, because the criticism is crazy. How you can criticize a 23-year-old English lad who's delivered what he's done already, goals and assist wise, in the last 4 years. I don't think anybody can say that this player doesn't deserve credit now. Just hold your hands up and say credit where credit's due. A lot of people are doing that with Palmer now. People thought it was a one-hit wonder. It clearly isn't. He's clearly a talent. Foden, likewise. People are getting on his back now because, for England, he's the one who needs to be dropped. They're all quality players. Jude Bellingham might not be as good as he is. We always do this with England players, man. We never do it with the others. We never do it with French players or Spanish players or German players. We do it with our own. Harry Kane, he's finished. No, he's not. He's scoring goals already in the Bundesliga again. Like, why do we do this? And we seem to do it with Saka. And players do it with Saka. Rival fans do it with Saka. Why? Why? Just say he's a top player. You don't see me slating Salah or saying, Salah, he don't really do much else. Does he put ball in the back of the net? Haaland, what does he do apart from score 30 a year? Nothing else. Nah, man. I take them both in my team right now. I don't know why we have to belittle other teams' players. Why? Just accept they're good and just be better than them. Don't say, actually, I'm going to say they're pretty crap. I think they're quality, but I'm going to say they're pretty crap. How about just say we need to be better than them because look at these quality players they've got. We can't do that as football fans sometimes. We have to belittle each other's players. I don't get it. Just look at it and go, wow, Palmer, what a talent. Foden, wow. Bellingham, Rice, Saka, Kane. We've got them all as England players. Let's go and have a good tournament. Unfortunately, it ain't good, man. It ain't good. But this is what we do. We did it with Gerrard. We did it with Rooney. We did it with Beckham. We did it with Scholes. Like, Scholes and Gerrard, get that Lampard out. Lampard's rubbish. He scored more goals than the pair of them. He's rubbish, that Lampard. Why do we do it? Why did we do it? Beckham, absolute disgrace. What? Because he missed the penalty. Got sent off. Wow, disgrace of a man. Like, one of the best players who ever played for England, in my opinion, David Beckham. Like, come on, man. Like, why do we do this? So people are starting to do it with Saka, and I ain't having it. The kid is phenomenal. The kid's going to be ridiculous. The kid's going to be world class. And if he is on the brink of it already, which some believe he is, I just want to see us win something and him win us something, and then people will just shut the hell up. That's what I want so badly this season. And I think that's why I've got so much want for this team to do well. Because I look at what it would mean for us to win a Champions League. This team has won a Champions League and it's shut everybody up. City are no longer screaming about how big they are because they've won one and we ain't. Chelsea are no longer screaming, begging for to be, London is blue, please, because we've won 2 of them, please. I know we're crap at the moment. No, just shut up. London's red, man. Yeah, we're the 3rd biggest club in England. They ain't having us bigger than Liverpool or Man United. I'm a realist. But we're bigger than anyone else right now because we've won the most, we've got the heritage, and we've got everything else that everyone else has, which is a global fan base, a huge stadium, heritage, great fan base, and that's what you need, but you need to be winning stuff. And Arsenal right now, 5 years without a trophy, we've got to be doing that. And it's got to be, in my opinion, the one with the big ears or Premier League. Yes, for FA Cup we'd take. Yes, Carling Cup we'd take. Right? Carabao Cup, sorry. But right now, I want to shut these people up, man. This team deserves to win something. It's a young side, yes, but it has got some experience in it now. It's a young manager, yes, but he is experienced now. And actually, if I'm honest with you, I think Mikel Arteta has learned a lot already this season. Some of the ways that he's playing, it ain't a plan A, and we ain't got a plan B. He's playing Diego Simeone tactics. He's playing dark arts to win games of football or see us out. Then he's going in games where he believes that we should be more expressive, and we are expressing. Yeah, today it weren't great, but you know what? We were dominant. We weren't playing Tony Pulis football like people want us to be now. For me, yes, it is all pile on Arsenal, but I love it. I don't want to be liked. I don't want to be that team that everybody thinks is fantastic. I don't want to be that Brighton. Oh my God, what a team Brighton are. How are they doing? They won anything? Oh no. Oh, they don't win things, but we all love them. Why'd you love them? You love Brighton because they're not a threat to anyone. Yeah? That's why Chelsea and Arsenal and United and City and Liverpool respect Brighton because they don't win anything. I don't want to be one of them teams. And that's no diss to them, by the way, because they should not be where they are in terms of where they've come from. They're phenomenally run and they deserve all the props they get. I don't want to be a liked and loved club. Go through the Premier League. How many clubs do you think are generically loved? All the bad ones. Brentford, respected, don't win anything. Bournemouth, respected. Love Iriola, doesn't win anything. You've got Brighton, I've just mentioned, don't win anything. Crystal Palace at times, they're a great side, haven't won anything in their history. When you're hated, means you're doing something right. Same with this YouTube malarkey. Yeah, I love the love I get. But if I'm not hated, I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, you're doing something wrong. Because if you go to, I don't know, do your stream, your show, you're always going to get, big up, Dan. And I love you guys for that, right? You're always going to get someone in the comments, oh, what a wanker this bloke is. What a negative Nelly. Oh my God, is he? That's what you get, man. And that is the same with football. When you're hated, it's because you're good, man. That's what it is. Arsenal are good at the moment. They're hated. Just gotta say it. That's the way it is, man. So be hated. Because George Graham said, don't always in your life want to be loved. Be the best. People hate you because you're good. How many Tottenham players do you hate? If I said to you, do you like Harry Kane? No. If I said to you, do you like Hossam Ghali? You go, oh, he was rubbish. We don't like Harry Kane because he's good. We didn't like Gareth Bale because he's good. We didn't like Moussa Dembele because he's good. Luka Modric because he's good. Ledley King because he's good. But if I said to you right now, look at some of the players that they did have, you would laugh at them. Laugh at them. Ben Thatcher. Even goalkeepers like Gomez. Players at the back like, what was his name? Davinson Sanchez. Kabul. Players in the middle like Davis, and who else did they have that was awful? Hossam Ghali, as I said. Up top, Sergio Rebrov was awful for them. Yeah. Who was the Portuguese lad there? Postiga. Everybody laughs at their players. But we weren't laughing at Harry Kane. We were like, they're good. So look, man, we've got to just be Arsenal Football Club and allow people to hate us. I don't give a damn that people hate us. In fact, I love it. I don't want people to go, oh, do you know what? I really like that Arsenal side. People loved Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. People were looking at fan cams laughing at us. Nah, I don't want to see that anymore. This Arsenal side deserves to be winning, man. That's what we got to do. This super chat comes to the front of the queue. Let's go through your questions before we close. Brian, big up to you, mate. Thank you so much for this, man. Says, we have to stop acting like this is a fluke. Havertz is a good player and integral to our team. We'll have a role to play even with a new striker. Facts. Absolute facts. And do you know what I love about that? Kai Havertz 100% knows that he has to keep his form up if he wants to keep the number 9, because we are going to go for a striker again. Jesus is not that guy. Jesus will be sold, in my opinion. I think he'll go either Saudi or be sold in the summer. So we absolutely need to keep Havertz in this squad, even if we get a striker, because he's got a pivotal role to play. I look at what Kai Havertz did today and against PSG. If he does that for the rest of the season, props to him, man, because it's going to be key to us. Absolutely key. Big up to you, Brian. Totally agree. And if that striker, by the way, is an Isak, Gyökeres, whoever, that does not mean that Havertz does not get into this team. That does not mean that Havertz is now sitting on the bench waiting for his chance. Havertz will still get game time because he's proven he can play well in the number 9. This one comes in from 13X. Big up. It says, Dan, why do you think it is that we seem to play better away from home? I don't know that we play better away from home. I think we're more resolute away from home. I think we're definitely defensively solid. I feel like because we're at home, we have to entertain the fan base. We have to be more expressive. And sometimes we get lapse in concentration, or we defend a little worse than we would when we were compact and resolute away from home. That's all I can put it down to. There's nothing else. I don't think there's particularly any individuals that I'm like, oh, God, he's playing, we're going to concede. I like Calafiori. I like Timber. I like White. I like Kivior and Tomiyasu when they come on today. I love Gabriel and Saliba. I don't think there's any player that I look at there defensively and think, oh, my God, that's the reason we're conceding at home. It's just the style that we're playing. We're nowhere near as resolute at home. That is all it is. Big up to you, bro. This one comes in from Andy. Says, would you say the Havertz signing could be considered a successful signing? 100%. And people say 60 million, 65 million. That's not a lot in this day and age for a striker or for an attacking player. It really isn't. When you look at what people have paid for midfielders like Caicedo and Enzo, and you look at players on the wings like Anthony, you look at players like Darwin Nunez, I would say this is really good signing. And it's one that Arteta can put alongside some of the others that he thinks are successful. He's definitely not in the middle now, Havertz. When we signed him, I was like, I've got to wait and see. I don't like this. Didn't like him in midfield, still don't. But trust me, I think this is a good guy. And I think we've got someone that I think we can rely upon in front of goal all of a sudden. And someone that can definitely, if he's not in front of goal, that can actually assist and set people up. That's where I'm at. Natalie says, Erdegaard back. What do you then do with Leandro Trossard? I think Trossard and Martinelli are fighting for that left-hand spot when Erdegaard comes back. Trossard at the moment, I feel personally, with his performances, he can't be dropped, and I would put him back over to the left-hand side and allow Martinelli to fight for his spot. But right now, Martinelli needs to make that left wing his own. He has got it. Don't let it go. Keep scoring. Keep contributing. Give your 110% as you always do. Be tenacious. Have that passion and drive and desire to go forward and have a go. Today, I saw Martinelli that I really love. I saw Martinelli that I've wanted to see for a long time, and I felt like he got his character and attitude and mentality back today. Maybe it is that left-hand side that's helped him, but I honestly believe we can unleash a star here. I really do. And I'm not afraid to say that. I believe he's got the ability. When it comes to Trossard, well, at the moment, I think it's fair to say that he's been one of our best players. So it would be incredibly harsh to drop him. But you have to play your best in the position. So what you don't do is say, right now, he is the best on the left, but because Trossard can't really be dropped, I'm going to put him on the left instead. That's not the best way to do it. That really isn't. So for me right now, Trossard, I feel like he has to stay put. When Erdegaard gets in, then you have the conversation about where Trossard can play and whether you believe he's ahead of Martinelli. Right now, I think he is, but Martinelli has got time at the moment to prove it, with Erdegaard still being out, that he deserves not to be dropped either. And this is what you want, man. This is starting to become a competition. So this is what we're about. Ray Beam says, why are we seemingly weaker at home? Look, I think I've answered that. It does look like it's a entertainment, attacking mind set. It does not look like it is, oh my God, Arsenal are shite defensively now. Away from home, we're more compact and resolute. That's the best way to answer it, I think. Other than that, I'm not too sure. Okay. AFC always says, Dan, Arteta needs to know and understand how to utilize players to their strengths and switch up the style of play. Also learn more about game management and man management to players. Don't you agree? I think he's actually got better at that, though, because in the last couple of seasons, I've been really disappointed in certain aspects of Arteta's game and man management. I think in terms of the man management, yes, he's ruthless, but I don't mind that with the Aubameyangs, Ramsdales, Guendouzi's, Tavares's, Kieran Tierney's. I don't mind that when it happens to be the right decision, and they have been. Let's be real. But if I'm honest with you, I really like his in-game management at times this season. Against Manchester City, I thought it was superb to try and hold out and try and take something, 3 points if you could, at least a point from Manchester City. At Aston Villa and Spurs and Atalanta, PSG turned it on. I think he's showing different styles. I think he's showing in-game management. Over the last 2 years, I'm with you. I didn't understand Fulham at home or away. I didn't understand why Bayern Munich and Villa, he dropped Havertz back into midfield and we ended up losing both. I didn't get any of his game management there. I didn't understand the season before why he kept Zinchenko on at Anfield, and then he got nutsed, and then Firmino got the equaliser, and it was like, too late. Your in-game management's poor. Get Tierney on quicker. Then he went to West Ham and he brought Jorginho on instead of for Jesus when we needed to score a goal. Southampton, he played Fabio Vieira in the 8 and we were 3-1 down. There's been in-game management problems for Mikel Arteta over the last 2 years. But this season, I feel like he's learnt. I really feel like he's learnt. So I can't sit there and say that I'm disappointed so far with that. So let's see. There's time. John is in the chat. Or is that John? OJXHNN. No. Do you think today was a rotation plan that almost backfired? The quality of our players forced the win. Yeah, I think you're right. And a lot of people didn't like that. They potentially thought that there was an opportunity for us to say, oh, we're going to rotate and we're going to win 4-5-0 still. It weren't like that. It weren't that easy. It really weren't. I didn't look at it today and feel like there was any opportunity I was going to go, wow, this is going to be 4 or 5. And I think that we disrespected the opposition to think that it was going to be 4 or 5-0. When that team, if I knew we were playing that team, I honestly would have gone for a 2-1 win Arsenal, because I would have believed we would have conceded anyway, because I thought the score was going to be 4-1 with our best team. And without the likes of those players starting, I actually thought it would have been a more uncomfortable win. And it looked like it was going to be. Until the subs come on, we were drawing the game, losing the game, in fact. So, look, we got the players on. It didn't backfire. It proves, and I hope that's why I've called it, we must learn. We must learn that actually full rotated squad isn't the way forward. Playing one or two, maybe, it is the way. And I know it wasn't full rotated today in terms of 11 changes. I'm not saying that, guys. I'm not saying it was like a Bolton team. We'll do that again against Preston. We'll make full-blown changes. But I just feel we need to be a little bit respectful that a Premier League game is a Premier League game. And if you wanted to do what you did today, it's cool. But if it backfires, learn from it. And maybe start your best with maybe one or two and bring your players off once the game's won. Because with our best 11, with Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz in the first half, I think we score a few goals. I think we create more. I think we deliver. I think we're more clinical. And I think we go 2 or 3 up. And then we can sit at half time and go, wow, take them off now. So I'm kind of believing we should go down that route. That's the way I believe next. So that's why I'm saying learn from this. We'll see. This one comes in from Andy. He says, I can't help but think that Gyökeres is the final piece to winning a big trophy. What improvements do you think we need? Yeah, a striker is key. I would go Isak. If we can't get Isak, Gyökeres. Nico Williams. Florian Wirtz. They're the 3 sort of players that I believe we need. We're not going to get all them in one window, but we could get them in 2 or 3. Nico Williams is a player that's easy to get. He's got a £49 million release clause. Gyökeres is an easy player to get. He's got an £84 million release clause. And Florian Wirtz is apparently available in the summer for 125 million. So if we've got that money, great. If we haven't, I don't know how we get all 3. But even if we got 2 of them, Isak and Williams, I'd be happy. Gyökeres or Wirtz, I'd be happy. So that's where I think we can still improve, bro. In midfield, if Partey and Jorginho stay, I think we'll keep it as it is. If we get to a stage where there's potentially Partey and Jorginho leaving, we might have to look at Tchouaméni or Zubamendi or somebody like that coming in. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Let's see what happens here. Dan, look at your shirt. Tell Jesus, Saudi and the Emirates are calling. Yeah, look, it looks that way, man. I don't think Jesus is going to last if he continues with these performances. They've not been good enough. Andy says the problem we face is that to beat City to a title race starts on match day 1. If we can't get the 3 points you think we need in one window, how do we stop the likes of Saliba leaving? Look, we need to win trophies and we need to be consistent and we need to put players on contracts for good money. We need to start looking at the £300,000 mark a week like Ozil was on. For some of these big ballers now, Erdegaard, Saliba, Saka, they need to all be on that money. They do. We also need to be successful this season and the next to keep Saliba happy. Sometimes you're not going to win with Real Madrid. Trent Alexander-Arnold, keep him happy, put him on a big contract, win trophies. He's done all that. He's had a good contract. He's on good money. I think he's on 200k a week. He's not like he's on 50k a week. He's won everything there is to win in football, but Real Madrid might be the challenge he wants, and Saliba might get that way too. We could win a Champions League and Premier League this season with Saliba, and he still says, right, I've won everything here. I want to go and do it at Real Madrid now. So Saliba might want to go. We just have to accept that, unfortunately. Why did you think Dibbling kid for Southampton? What did you think of him? Look, quality, had good battles with Calafiori. I like him a lot. I've been impressed with him. I thought he was good against Man United. I thought he was really good. Or one of the players that's been really good this season, actually, because they haven't had a good start for Southampton. They haven't. Yeah, they really haven't. So I think he's one of the players that we'll be talking about in the next couple of years. I really do think he's good enough to be a Premier League player. So let's see where he goes, because he ain't going to stay at Southampton if they go down. Big up to Matt. Make sure you go follow the Southern Gooner. Big up, bro. I need to get you on here, man. It's been way too long. Says Danny Bravo, Jesus is looking like a journeyman in the squad. Best days are behind him. The biggest compliment I can give Arsenal is that we've outgrown Zinchenko and Jesus, just like Manchester City had. We just didn't believe we were going to be outgrowing them this quickly. We thought it was going to take longer. We thought it was going to be a Champions League fight when we had Jesus and Zinchenko. They were supposed to get us confirmed for top 4 and trace for a trophy. Actually, we found ourselves in a title race with both of them. And that was incredible. Let's go to this one from Chaitanya. Big up, bro. Says, big up, Dan. We have to phase out the ex-City players at this point. I'll get rid of them, get some money and get a striker in. Havertz is saving us. Havertz has been brilliant, man. I don't think at the moment this is a side that looks like it needs a striker. And I still believe we do need one, but we're not showing signs of that because Havertz is delivering. So fair play. But I will say, I agree with you on Zinchenko and Jesus, and I think they'll be gone in the summer. I really do. I think the only reason we'll get rid of players is if they're unwanted, like Kieran Tierney, Lokonga, all the guys that are coming back from loan, or if they're injury prone, like Tomiyasu needs to sort his life out, stop getting injured. Jesus, Partey, Zinchenko, these are players that cannot be injured because we just need to get rid of them. That's where I'm at. So I'm with you, Chaitanya. Another striker is needed, man. Another striker is needed. Sterling and Jesus, it ain't working for me at the moment. That's for sure. Hit the like and subscribe, please, people. We've got over 300 people in here still. We're creeping up to 350 as we speak. Before we come to a close, hit the like and subscribe, please. At the moment, we've only hit 119 likes. Let's get that up to 200, please, people. It's free. Hit the like and subscribe together while you're there. Subscribe is free, and we can get up to 30K. Big up to all of you. This one comes in from George. He says, thoughts on Calafiori so far? Really good. Comfortable on the ball. Great left foot. Good passer, good delivery, great interceptor. I think it's going to be a really interesting scenario when all of our players are fit. I think he starts left back now. I don't know where our right back is. Is it Timber or White? I think for me, if I'm honest, out of everybody so far, I think it's White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber. But Calafiori's put in performances now that makes me think perhaps he's going to stay at left back. And then Ben White or Timber is going to miss out at right back. It's a great, great decision for Mikel Arteta, and it strengthens our bench. And that's where I want to end. I definitely believe we're still short by 2 players. The only way that can be proven wrong is if Ethan Nwaneri proves that he is the Smith Rowe and Vieira replacement. The only other way that can be proved wrong is if Sterling and Jesus actually deliver. We need them to. We've got cover. Is it adequate cover? In some positions it is. I think defensively we're cool. We've got Rare and Neto. At the back we've got Timber and White. We've got Tomiyasu who can play there. Calafiori and Timber can play left. Centre backs, yeah, we got Timber and Kivior and White and Tomiyasu that can play there. If Gabriel or Saliba were out, Calafiori as well. We're stacked. In midfield, Jorginho, Partey, Rice, Mourinho, Trossard, Erdegaard, Nwaneri. Kind of proves that perhaps Eze was not as needed as we thought he would be. But that is really because Trossard's been fantastic there, which I didn't see him playing, and Nwaneri's come onto the mix. But then the front three, have we got enough there? Is Sterling and Jesus good enough cover when Saka's out? Is Havertz getting a knock going to affect us, or is Jesus going to come in and deliver? Martinelli and Trossard are fighting on the left, and I haven't got a problem there. But I just feel like Sterling and Jesus are the 2 issues right now. So that's why I've mentioned a winger like Williams, a striker like Isak or Gyökeres, and an attacking midfielder or 10 like Florian Wirtz. They're the only 3 positions we need, in my opinion. The only other position we might need is if Partey does go, we need Tchouameni or somebody like that coming in, Zubimendi. So they're the sort of players I think I want to be seeing us linked with, for sure. That's what I'll be saying. Look, international break, people. Lots of content coming up on here. Make sure you've hit the like and subscribe. Make sure that you are following the channel and you're supporting. Big up to every single one of you, man. The 12th man community is growing. We're almost up to 30K. We're only 5K away from 30. The big 3-0. I remember when I hit 5K. Wasn't long ago. Can't believe where we've come to. So thank you all so much, man. I really appreciate it. Big up to all of you. Tomorrow, this is London. Sunday, 8 p.m. The boys will be back. Then we're heading over to Lee Judge's channel around about 9 o'clock-ish after that show to talk all things Arsenal. On Monday, Race for Europe will be back. And then Tuesday, it will be the Arsenal shows, and there'll be content throughout the day as well. So please don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. We're out of here, people.